What is up, BookTube? It is Monty, and today I am back again, once again, with another video. I'm here today with a book haul. I have around 30 books that I haven't hauled, sort of. There is a little bit of a caveat here. Some of these are definitely things that you have seen on my channel that I've talked about, either in a wrap-up, in a reading vlog. Some of these I know that I hauled in a vlog, but I know that not everybody watches my reading vlogs, especially compared to when I have like armful of books and there's like book haul in the title. Like obviously the view counts are vastly different, so I'm going to include them here. Just know that some of these things you have already seen. One of these things we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have a conversation here, and we have a conversation about it in the reading vlog that I'm reading it for. So lots of disclaimers, lots of things, but like I said, I have approximately 30 things to get through, so there won't be, I'll try to leave titles in the description, but I can't promise there will be Goodreads links down there, so if you want spoilers, you can go look at the description, I guess. We're going to start with things that were gifted to me many months ago by subscribers. I think this was like all the same person. If it wasn't the same person, let me know. I thought I put the Amazon receipt. I did. Okay. So I think these were all from Elizabeth. So if I'm incorrect, I'm sorry, but I believe these are all from Elizabeth. And the first one I have is Camp by L.C. Rosen. This is a queer contemporary set at a summer camp, which I am still looking forward to reading. There's a who's who of queer YA authors on the back of this. Several I've read and loved, so I'm excited for this. L.C. Rosen also wrote, I believe, Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, which I've heard nothing but really good things about, so I'm looking forward to reading this, probably in 2022 at this point. I don't think this is going to be a winter read for me, but you know, never say never, especially when I'm trying to, I have an unofficial Goodreads goal that I am attempting to hit, and YA contemporary is definitely the kind of lighthearted fare that'll help get me there. They also sent All-American Muslim Girl by Nadine Jolie Courtney, which I know I talked about. I think it was in my mid-year wrap-up as like a pretty cover. I think this is stunning. I'm thinking about reading this next year for choices. I don't know, but I do want to read this sometime in 2022. Then we have Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee. I don't really know what this is other than like, I think there's fake dating here. I don't remember. There was some controversy with Emery Lee back before I left for the wilderness. I've seen a couple of people read this and enjoy it. I haven't gotten around to it, but I have it. I also have one of BookTube's favorite books, The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Everyone has read this and loved it. I believe there was some discussion about how TJ Klune appropriated marginalized identities, native, specifically indigenous communities, like trauma to write this. I think it was this one. I don't think it had anything to do with Under the Whispering Door, which is his upcoming release. So it's kind of dampened my excitement. I'm also not entirely convinced this book is going to be one that I enjoy. I know it's like fantasy and there's like a social worker aspect and like an orphanage of children. I don't think that's really for me, but it looks pretty on my shelf, so I do appreciate it. And then the last book that was gifted to me is So Many Beginnings by Bethany C. Morrow. I received this today from Macmillan. They sent this to me. I was pleasantly surprised. I also got like an art print of the sisters and like the little pin that they were giving away as like the pre-order incentive. It's beautiful. I don't really connect enamel pins, but I have it. It's stunning. And I'm looking forward to reading this. This is a Little Women remix, like a situation. It's basically Little Women, but they're black. So we're gonna deal with Black Americans during the Civil War. Very much looking forward to reading this one. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to it this year. Full disclosure, Little Women I attempted to read before I went to go watch the Greta Gerwig, and I thought it was really boring and I DNF'd. So I'm gonna hope that the black people are gonna make this interesting. There's gonna be a little bit of a spice. I do believe that there were some changes. But Bethany C. Morrow is also an author this year that I've started to read and I've just really loved. So we're going to use that to transition into A Song Below Water and A Chorus Rises, which are their urban contemporary fantasies that were published by Tor Teen. People really did not like A Song Below Water. They had a lot of issues. This one is like sirens and they're black, and people were like, it's like an allegory. And it's like, my thing with urban fantasy is that there seems to be like, publishing wants you to do fantasy racism and then pretend as though actual racism doesn't exist because like there's fantasy elements. And so that always bothers me. And so I appreciate how actual just like racism that you, well, not you, but like me or other black people or other marginalized people suffer from exists in this world. But then there's also this added intersection of the sirens. So this one is great. This one has like sirens and there's a gargoyle and another fun creature of the night. And then this one focuses on the antagonist from A Song Below Water, Naima Bradshaw. And Naima Bradshaw is my girl. I love her. I love her. She's like, you know me and a mean girl. We're going to get along like white on rice. And Naima Bradshaw does not disappoint. I found her to be just great. This one focuses on her kind of leaving Portland because of the events that happened in this book. And so we get to see her reconnecting with her family and her loco roots and kind of what it really means to be in a loco. I just love this series. I think this is a wonderful duology. People were hating on this. I don't know what they're hating on it for. Maybe it's not for the fantasy girlies, but if you are a contemporary hoe like me, come collect. Next, this is not a wrap up, but I have Heartbreakers and Fakers by Cameron Lund. This was Cameron Lund's sophomore novel. I love it. It's kind of like a messy quadrangle, takes place over summer break, but we also get flashbacks to kind of understand how we ended up in this mess. I didn't quite like it is a romance in that there is a happily for now at the end of the book. I wish this had been just more straight contemporary without that happy ending for the love quadrangle mess, but I appreciated it. I'm excited for other people to read this. I haven't seen too many people talk about this, and I think y'all might be sleeping. Next, I have Most Likely by Sarah Watson. All I know is that this follows a friend group. There's like 4 people in the friend group. One of them is destined to become the president of the United States when they're older. The next one I have also already read, and that was Act Cool by Tobley McSmith. This is set at a performing arts school in New York City. We follow a trans main character as he is trying to transition. He has run away from home. He's living with his supportive aunt. There's like mess going on at his school, and he's like, guys, I'm just trying to like survive. I'm trying to do what I need to do. Like, it's great. I loved it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars and I read it. I'll leave a link to that vlog up in the cards or down below, depending on how many links I have to leave in this video. I also have They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. This is Jessica Goodman's sophomore novel, but this is a mystery. I think in that vlog I initially called it a thriller, but this is just a standard, straightforward mystery set in upstate New York, where we have these cross-country sisters and a new girl comes to town, and then she winds up disappearing in a town that has a history of disappearing murdered girls. So you don't love to see it because sis is gone, disappeared, maybe dead. But I thought that this was a wonderful mystery from start to finish. I felt that the character work in this was great, and I do think that it made me believe in the sisters' dynamic. Transitioning out of YA for a moment, I have the final revival of Opal and Nev by Donnie Walton. This is an adult historical fiction set in the like 60s, 70s time frame. I read this at the beginning of the year for a Are They Like Daisy Jones reading vlog, because this chronicles the life of Opal and Nev, who came together to form this like punk rock duo for like literally 5 seconds. So we have Nev, who is a British singer man who like did a bunch of like soft boy music, and then he met Opal, who like added the grunge and the stuff. And the book is centered around the narrator. Her father was like the drummer for Opal and Nev, and he was murdered um during a race riot at one of the concerts. And so after that murder happened, after that after her father died, Opal and Nev kind of like fell apart, and the narrator is trying to get to the bottom of that. So part of it is told in interview format, part of it we get like articles, and then we also get just regular prose standard novel. I love this. I think I love this a lot more than Daisy Jones. It's also just messier than Daisy Jones, and it's it's written by a black woman. So I love this. It's probably going to be on my best books of the year list. Spoiler alert, I'm really happy to own a physical copy because I read an ARC version. So, and speaking of ARCs, I have a finished copy of Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Yamide. I think when I did my best books of 2019 video, I think I said her name wrong, but I've had all year to see people pronounce it. So I think I got it right this time after many an outtake. We all know what this is. This is private school white fuckery. Our two main characters, Chiamaka and Devin, team up to like find the source of the fuckery, why they're getting these cryptic messages, what is going on, why is Devin a head boy when he is a very average student. Y'all know I gave this 5 stars. This is my best book of last year. It's very nice to own a physical copy. And speaking of books that have been on, I think this is on the best books as well. I finally own a hardcover copy of Bad Blood, Secrets and Lies in a Silicon Valley Startup by John Carreyrou. This is an excellent audiobook. If y'all somehow have escaped the Theranos Elizabeth Holmes fuckery, if you have managed to avoid the podcasts and the docuseries, there's like at least 5 of all of those things. This is the book. I don't say that started it all, but I think it's an excellent, all-encompassing situation of why Theranos was fucked, why Elizabeth Holmes deserves to be in prison for the rest of her life. I hate to see it. So this is a nonfiction, but I think that it reads really wonderful if you're trying to think of things to throw onto your nonfiction November TBRs. This is great. I have a copy of The Martian by Andy Weir. I found this in hardcover, so I've already read this. I probably won't be rereading this anytime soon, but I feel like the hardcover edition of this book I think when they were releasing his most recent one, Project Hail Mary, for a little bit they had The Martian in like hardcover with like the printed on hardcover. I'm really happy I didn't buy that because I have this edition. It's not the most well taken care of edition, but it's fine. It's mine. That's all that matters. This was also sent to me, but I don't think I ever found out who sent it to me, because I don't think I pre-ordered this. It didn't happen. I listened to the audio for Anna K Away by Jenny Lee, the conclusion to the Anna K duology. Next is a book that I feel like I said that I want to talk about, and I think I'm just not going to. But I've also seen a number of people now talk about this being on their October TBR, and they have just like said it's on the TBR, and they're moving on with their life. So if that's what, other people are going to do, that's what I'm going to do, because I want to read it. I want to talk about it. So we're going to. And that is Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. So at the time of filming this haul, I'm like 60% into this. And I think that you'll have to watch the reading vlog for full thoughts. I don't know if that's going to be out already or it's going to be out next, but it is coming. But what I want to say is that this is the book that I think is like the worst constructed. I have a picture that I threw up on my Twitter, but look at this. Like, what? Not attached at all. Hate that for the culture. It's not even like there's any kind of like glue residue. It was never even attempted to like be attached to the spine. So I've been listening to the audiobook because if I tried to actually hold the book open, I feel like I'm going to rip and my book is going to be broken. So hate that. The pages are nice and thick, but I honestly would have preferred Bible thin pages, which I don't know if they could do because there are full illustrations. But I own books that are longer than this that I've not separated from the spine. So this follows Gabriel, last of the Silver Saints, who are this order, this religious order, who are like out and about here trying to destroy the vampires because it's been night for like 20 some odd years, which again we get into that in the reading vlog. So I do own a copy of this. I am reading it. We're going to discuss it on the channel. The next two are books that I read a long time ago. So that was Ruin and Rising and Siege and Storm. These are my favorites in the Grisha verse. I love this series the most. So y'all know I read this. Y'all know there's a whole 2-hour epic feature-length reading vlog for that. Next are the Sarah J Maas books that I don't own. These are, I think I finally own, aside from like maybe she might be like an anthology somewhere, but I think I finally own all the Sarah J Maas books. First was A Court of Frost and Starlight, which I appreciated until I read A Court of Silver Frames, and then I was like, yeah, this wasn't necessary. Like, the whole plot that she introduced here didn't go anywhere. The Illyrian rebellion that was teased, we didn't get. But I also have Catwoman Soul Stealer, because as part of my Lee Bardugo vlog, I read Wonder Woman Warbreaker, or no, Warbringer, and that was really good. I gave that 5 out of 5 stars. It was the best thing about that whole, I mean, I liked Shadow and Bone, Ruin and Rising, Siege and Storm. That was a good time. But Wonder Woman Warbringer was like the peak of that. So when I saw this copy at my, I think I actually found this at Half Price Books. This made the whole trip to Half Price Books worth it, because you can't find this in hardcover just about anywhere. It's not the UK covers that I would have preferred, but getting those on hardcover, I'm definitely never going to find those. So for now, that's what I got. Continuing on with the theme of blue books, I have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I talked about and messed up the main character's name in that review, but I did read this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was a good time. Nothing special, but it was decent. If you wanted a fun summary read, this was there. Probably wouldn't pick this up in the fall time. And I also have The Housewives, the real story behind The Real Housewives by Brian Moylan. Brian Moylan does the recaps for Vulture, I believe it is. And like, this was fun. It was fine. But I think if you're an avid watcher of The Housewives, there was nothing new here. And even me, as like not an avid Housewives watcher, I didn't think that I got anything new from this. So I don't know who to recommend this to. If I hadn't like dented up the dust jacket, I probably would have returned this to Books A Million, because it was kind of wasting my time. But it is what it is. Speaking of Books A Million, I have The Late Show by Michael Connelly. When I renewed my Books A Million membership, they give you a little gift card, and this was in their little bargain section. This is part of an ongoing series, or it's related to an ongoing series, but this is the first book in the Renee Ballard spinoff of that series, I guess. So it's like just a true crime procedural detective novel set on the set of a late show. I think there's like a murder or a crime that happens. I don't even know if it has anything to do with the late show. I think it's just she works the night shift. So she's the detective. She works the night shift. That's her situation. So I'm looking, I think in one of my most recent videos, I said I kind of wanted to try a detective-y sort of type book, because I like watching those kinds of TV shows. So like maybe it'll translate. The last of the hardbacks are the last of the Bardugo books from that project that I kept. So I have King of Scars, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Here we follow Nikolai, Zoya, and Nina. Nina could have been without, but I did think that Nikolai's storyline and Zoya's was really great. And I also kept Rule of Wolves, because there's like a rip in the spine dust jacket. So even though I didn't like this one as much, this is kind of like how I really didn't like, I don't think that Lee Bardugo can write duologies, because I thought that Crooked Kingdom was just a horrible book, and Rule of Wolves is the Crooked Kingdom of this duology, where the payoff for a character that came back was not good here, even though I was open to that character being back when that happened in this one. It just didn't work for me. I thought it was a little questionable. There are certain things with how magic is handled that I was like, I'm open to it, but also like, So the only good thing that happens in this is in relation to Zoya. So love what happens here for Zoya. But this also, I felt like Nina didn't need to be here. So Nina also just kind of was a dead weight on this. I know people really complain about Nikolai, but I think that Nina is the worst thing about this duology. And I understand kind of why she was included, but at the end of the day, I don't think she really needed to be. I think we could have just cut it. We could have cut that. Now I just have a handful of paperbacks to talk about. The first is another gift that was sent to me by somebody, because I didn't order this myself. It's another probable pick for choices next year, and that is K-Pop Confidential by Stefan Lee. A book I didn't have a decent time with was Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This is the story of two friends, Kate Malarkey and Tully Hart, and how that friendship came to be and how it fell apart. It tells that story. It's very easy to get through. It's very quick, but I hated this book. I don't recommend it at all. So there's also that. The next are books that I bought at the Kansas Book Festival because I wanted to buy them. I wanted to buy some books. I watched Adib Karam on a panel, and so I bought Darius the Great is Not Okay and the sequel, Darius the Great Deserves Better. I kind of want to do an Adib Karam reading vlog because I have both of these and his 2022 release, Kiss and Tell, which is like a boy band romance situation. Who doesn't love that? I originally wanted to do Kiss and Tell. I originally wanted to do a Kiss and Tell and If This Gets Out situation because those are both boy band romances. But I might do this instead. I might do this and that and then include that one. I don't know, because I think 4 is like a nice number for a reading vlog. I haven't decided. You can leave me thoughts down below on that. But I do also want to say that I don't really know what this is about, other than I think it's about a queer Persian character, and he goes home to Iran, maybe? Or he visits some family in Iran. Not goes home. He visits some family in Iran. And then I think this one, he's like in America, maybe? And there's like a love triangle, mayhaps? Oh, there's a bully in this one. Interesting. I don't know, but I have these. I bought these in paperback because that's what they have. So at least they match. Kiss and Tell, though, because that's going to come back in hardback. But I'll deal with that when I get to it. Next, I have The Last Tongue Standing by Lauren Huh. And I got this, honestly, because of the cover. And then I read it, and it was giving me Crazy Rich Asians, because it also does say Crazy Rich Asians meets Bridget Jones. So I think Aaron read this and didn't like it, but I think Aaron also thought this was supposed to be a romance, and my Barnes & Nobles had it in regular general fiction, which is what Crazy Rich Asians is. Crazy Rich Asians has a love story in it, but it's overall just a regular book. So I don't really know what to expect going into this, but I'm looking forward to it. And that is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Satano. I think this is about a woman who murders her date, and then she has to deal with the fallout or something. I don't know. That's all I got from what I remember. But it's supposed to be funny. I'm gonna hope that it's funny. But those are all of the books that I bought. I'm not going to try and lift this stack. I'm going to do it for the thumbnail, but not for y'all. If you've made it to the end of the video, you can drop this emoji in the comment section, and I'll see you guys again soon with another video. But until then, and until next time, bye.